That was a weird little thing that popped up there. What was that? I'll have to look at that history. Oh, I messed that up. Is it 8,000? Yes, 8,000 is the color tool. Wonderful. Wonderbar. Hope that means wonderful. So I got another segment of the color tool done. Actually, it's not on here. Did I not push it? Let me check my other computer real quick. I'm gonna have to push this up if not. So I move a million things around on my desk because I'm always flailing before I start my streams. Moving a million things around. Abstract syntax trees. We are not doing abstract syntax trees. Hey Ryan, how's it going? Welcome, Eco. We on this stream are figuring out why I decided to not push the code that I wrote last night to GitHub. So in any case, there is a now deployed version of this. And I believe if I pushed, this will have it. This doesn't though. Okay. So in any case, the WASD, I swapped out all of the colors, so the selection works a lot nicer than it used to. Like the color grid used to be very, very slow, and now it can just sort of like go anywhere I want it to really quickly, and there's nothing preventing it from doing that. And that was because I swapped out the color space that we're using from I think we were using D3 if I remember correctly. I think it was D3. But basically it was not good enough and it was slowing everything down. So I swapped over to HS Love or HP Love. Which is sort of like a extension of the C Love color space, targeting like an HSL usage, because that's pretty like understandable for people. And you can do like saturation like this or lightness, and you can see that it actually in the whole color space will change it to be a wider variation of stuff or not. You can stick it right on that circle of the line and just go around. But yeah. So I think this is the HSL UV. There's also an HPL UV, for which the comparison makes a lot of sense. So like, here's HSL. HSL is horrible for generative tools. But C-Love LCH, which is the radial representation of C-Love, is great, but it looks like this, right? So it's not great in terms of the chroma. All of this black up here is like an invalid color. But if you try to generate a color in the C-Love LCH space and you hit one of these invalid colors, you won't know until you generate the RGB representation and try to render it. So that's why HSL UV exists and HPL UV exists. So HSL basically takes all of these points and stretches them up to the top so that we have a clear 0 to 100 range for talking about stuff. And then the HPL UV takes this stuff and like chops it into a rectangle. So really all you get is the colors that are like down here, which is why they all look washed out and pastel-y. So what ends up happening is that HPL UV smooths out the chroma over HSL UV. HSL UV raises the top of all of these saturations and stuff such that we can now, or raises the chroma to the 100% so that the saturation goes up and down. So we end up having 0 to 100, 0 to 100, and 0 to 360 for the hue. And you can see all of the different representations of this, but like this is the lightness, so you can see that it's always the same lightness if you're at the same number. So am I here? I'm here. Okay, I'm just gonna add all of this real quick and push it up. Gatsby config. What do you mean there are changes? That doesn't make sense. Okay, pushed. So now we can actually get into doing some work. And that'll go up on the clab.netlify version in a second as well, because it automatically deploys via Netlify. So yeah, HSL UV. Like, HSL is a weird comparison because HSL is pretty bad. But you can see that all the lightness at 60% looks the same for every color, whereas the lightness for HSL doesn't give you a usable contrast. Feature request for the robot. We need to have a channel-specific today command. Yes. Eco just ran today in this channel, and it kind of failed. Well, it didn't fail. It just showed the today from your AST stream. Oh, so you've been here. I got you. Just lurking in a corner. Let's see, Yarn, Gatsby. I should actually include the develop script here. And it's still in my on-screen chat window. Yeah, shush. Yeah, okay, fine. You win. You win this round, Jason. Okay, so what we have here is a little thing I built last night as I down coffee and water at the same time. Where does anybody world's greatest detective? Does anybody have a hex color that they really like that they can put in chat so I can test this out? Yes, we can use that. All right, so when I hit submit here, what's going to happen is this color is the 1FA 9F4, this one all the way on the left, and then the rest of them are all generated. So when we submit this, we get this green, or like whatever you want to call that, this line. Hey, Lacoste, how's it going? You get this like green, but you also get a color across the hue spectrum from 0 to 360. And they're all the same lightness, so you could use all of these colors on the same page and they wouldn't clash or anything. And this is using HS Love right now, but it's only it's capping the saturation and stuff at 100. So the other thing we can do here is these aren't so these aren't hooked up to this box yet. But if I change the hue, so this is hue, this is saturation, this is lightness. I know they're not labeled. I just, you know, it was a hack I did last night. So hue, saturation, lightness. I changed the hue, and then we get that color. If we change the hue, we get that color, and we can just keep generating palettes like this and be like, you know, we want a little bit more saturated than that, but maybe we want some darker colors, and like this is nice. Okay, so let's use this for our backgrounds or something like that, right? So you can just sort of like iteratively keep just generating stuff. And actually, the badass colors aren't that bad. I kind of like this spectrum of like little pastel-y kind of things. Was Paul the first one to use that in his talk? But yeah, so we've got this tool that just like sort of gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors out of the spectrum. And what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 colors, and then we also need a gray. So maybe we should do something with that at some point. Oh, and if it's if you want to play with it on clab.netfly.com/app, which I don't have Twitch chat pulled up, so I'm going to pull that up so I can dump this in. Why I don't have Twitch chat pulled up is exercise best left to the reader. But yeah, so if you use this and you find some colors that you like, I don't know, tweet it out or something. That'd be cool. But it's there, it's available, you can play with it. You've got this kind of stuff, so I can just like type whatever in here, or I can modify this. And now I have this bright purple thing. So one thing that I want to do is I want to make this color that we're generating the palette off of. I want to make that hooked up to these components. Because it kind of sucks that you can't see that as you're moving the hue and stuff. And my display resolution is gigantic, so you should be able to see all this code because the font size is huge. But unfortunately, we can't show a lot of code at the same time. Let's see. Gradients is not what we want. Colors is not what I want. Package is not what I want. Browser, not what I want. Line chart, not what I want. So we got this thing called hex input that I think I just built everything into because I was being lazy. Because that's what I do when I'm hacking stuff together. So we're probably going to pull that out into its own thing at some point. And we're using Formic. So I wonder if we can do an on change here. Right, like I want to capture these values, and I want to capture them every time they change. So let's get rid of this console log. Each of these fields, I think, is going to need this on change. So I wonder if we can define this on change somewhere up here. See the reducer. I think we need it inside of the state. Is this what we're using for? That's HSL. And then that's what we use for the what? Color pairings or the color box? The color box gets a color. Color box is the thing we care about right now. None of this is prettierified, so let me run prettier. I don't want to create a configuration file. Format document? There we go. What's the goal of the color pickers? Accessibility. Right now, the goal of the color pickers is to pick a pleasing palette. The end goal. So, like, you see how we have this tool right here? The thing that I want. Oh, I should refresh this because we have a different implementation. This tool is for displaying a whole set of raw colors, right? And maybe making some light tweaks to like the lightness curves and things like that. But to get to this point, we have to pick a bunch of colors first. So this tool is for picking the initial colors that make up this grid. So in this case, we're starting off with like one color we like. We're putting it into an algorithm that generates us 8 colors. And it will also generate us a gray at some point. And then we're going to take that and we're going to spread it across a lightness scale to generate the grid. And that will give you your whole grid of all the colors that you want to use in your UI. At that point, we then add the accessibility contrast on top of it. So the dark grays and the light grays get placed on each one, whether depending on which one has more contrast. So the arrow key, so it's not actually arrow keys, right? It's WASD, and it's WASD because that's what Stripe did when I talked to them on Twitter, and also I think that I want to be able to do left hand over here with the color grid, and right hand on arrow keys, and be able to do, or like right hand on something else, or like IJKL or something. Because Fortnite. Partially because, yes, I play games and WASD feels familiar to me. But I also want to be able to do like IJKL or something to navigate around these graphs and nudge them in different directions. So this is like the final screen that you would see, right? This is, you've chosen all of the colors. Maybe you don't like the way this one works for saturation on this particular color square, right? You would use IJKL to modify either the lightness, the saturation, or the hue or something, right? Or UJIKOL or something like that. And this, yeah. So you asked about keyboard navigation, and I'm getting way off track on that. The keyboard navigation, which I'll pull up on GitHub if I can get to it, is using a React hook. So if we go to pages and we go to index, you'll see this use hotkeys. And use hotkeys comes from React hotkeys hook. And we went through actually a couple libraries, and this is the one that worked out the best. That's on like one of the streams from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. It's getting a long time now. So we've got use hotkeys, we've got W, and then we've got a callback, and it basically just navigates you around and selects a different color for you. So that's how we're implementing the keyboard navigation here. Yeah. So let's hook up this grid changing thingy to this color box. Color box takes box color. Box color is here. Set box color is what we're going to get called. So, yes, I would add instructions on the page with keyboard nav info and link them. I don't know how to link them with ARIA described by, but I will look into that at some point. I think the first thing that I want to do is get the graphs to be even keyboard accessible at all. Because right now, even if you know that WASD works, it doesn't matter because like the graphs aren't accessible. Okay, so we've got HSL. The value will come in from each of them. I guess I can just write this in line. It doesn't need to be up here. But we are going to use set box color. We set box color here, so when we write the submit, but I'll copy that out and I will put this into what? On change equals. You think this is the value? What do you think on change is? Oh man. Marissa is here. Prepare for corgis. Oh wow, that's so loud. I'm pretty sure there's a jump. Like I physically jumped when that happened. Yeah, I know. I can turn the volume down on that. It's a desktop audio. Oh no, the release the corgis is a separate volume thing, isn't it? I am going to turn that down a little bit. I'm going to cap that before it goes to yellow. Is what I'm going to do. Actually, release the corgis doesn't have audio. Why doesn't it release the corgis? Oh, because it goes through my desktop. No. I don't think I can turn it down. Because I want to play the Spotify music. There's a setting to add audio controls. Okay. I think I will look into that later. Control audio via OBS. Oh, perfect. It did not add audio controls in OBS. But I'll just trust you that that's working. It's now slightly down a little bit more, so it won't freak me out. Also, hi Mechanic, nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. Just put an ID on the instructions and put the ID in the area described by field on a table. Okay, cool. That doesn't feel too hard. Oh, man. Okay. Back to what I was trying to do. Formic on change. Props.handle change. Handle change takes the... Where's handle change? Oh, is handle change coming from... Okay. I don't really want to override the change. I just want to like patch into it. Like I want like to also get the changes. Okay, well, I'm going to assume that this is E, I guess. This will update the values key, where key is the event emitting input's name attribute. Let's validate on change. Maybe we can use that. Nope. I think this is just e.target.value. Where are we? Oh, right. That's why it's not. I have a ton of warnings here because I did the experimental reacting. Okay, clear that. And this doesn't change if we override handle change. So where's props? Is submitting. Handle change. Try that. Let's see if that. Yep, that gets us where we need. That changes a lot. That changes pretty quickly. We should probably debounce that. A Twitch developer rig. There's a developer rig? That's wild. Okay, value. That's going to be HSL. So we're going to take this thing, stick this here, get rid of that, and this will be H. And then this is the same thing that we're going to do everywhere. So we'll just get rid of these, save that, and then copy and paste this basically. Values.h isn't what we want though. We want box color.h. No, what we need to do is hex to HP love box color, because I think we store it as a hex. I wish we could use primes. HP, SP, LP. And this will be SP, LP. Right? That should work. And we'll comment this out for a second to make sure that that does actually work. Oh wow, that's... That needs to be debounced real bad. Interesting. Okay, so that's just a value that will render. I guess it's not so bad. It just like it bugs out sometimes. Right, like I'm pretty sure that's not black. Yeah, it was not black. So it's doing something wrong. We're actually not using HP here, so we'll just do that. I think I'm going to take this out and make it a different function. Update box. Takes an E. And then we'll do this, but we're going to bounce this whole function. So we'll take all of these. HP. O dash debounce. This, right? Debounce that function, and then we'll call it like 500 milliseconds. We don't need it to do that much. Like let's make it still responsive, but let's make it like not updating 50 times every 100 milliseconds. It doesn't mean I need to install Lodash. Okay, so I guess we can just destructure this off too. Name, value, e.target. Switch. Name. And this will be, what's our first one? H?
You got that style everybody likes. We'll light it up, take a look at the sky. Cause we're feeling the vibe, feeling the
Yes.
under these midnight
And
lights.
then
So what you say? Saw them
you
other
let
guys go posted up in your way. They was coming at you really up in a rave. Hey, baby girl, look out
new
to space.
H.
In special moments, I'm saving them for the day. Let me take your hand, baby girl, you never know though. In the night, moving around and taking photos. And I got a whip. Baby,
Can we just do a comma here? I forget. New S, new L. Can we just do that? Alright, then here we do new H or HP, new S or SP, new L or LP, and that should handle everything, I think. And then update box can get called down there, which I believe we're already doing, but we need to rerun this.
Patrolling, loving the way that we roaming. Yeah, give me a time and I can pick you up. On my way to you, got me lifted up. Then I came around in my sister's truck, had me thinking, oh girl, is this enough?
Feels like we broke something. Unexpected syntax error. Okay, what did I do wrong? Bounce E to thing. Cons. Hex. Ors. Brackets. Did I mess something up when I deleted the other set box color thing? Okay, because there's this, and then this field has an end. This has the on change. That seems fine. Let's check this. Box color is not defined. Set box color is not defined. Underscore is not defined. Okay, that all makes sense. We're gonna take this and we're gonna put it inside this function so that it can have access to the hook functions. Okay. So we've got a problem with that where it turns into like a hex color that doesn't exist. You think this hex color is just not working? Like this function doesn't quite do it? Let's get this logging out. Get that. Do this. Well, that's not good. That's so weird. Okay, so there's something messing up pretty bad here. It only messes up sometimes. What is #1? Like I've never written. I guess does #1 work as a color? I've seen shorter versions of it, but I've never seen one before. This, like a 5-character hex code, seems real weird. It's hex code spec. Okay, so we get 3, 4, 6, or 8. So 5 is definitely not one of them. 1 is definitely not one of them. So we have a problem there. I wonder if that's generating a color that doesn't exist. That would be really interesting. Like if I do that, it gives me the full thing, right? So let's see. BE36F, BE87FC. So I think it's doing something slightly different when we set this. Oh, you know what the problem is? I'm converting to HP love here, and I'm doing HS love down there. That makes sense. Okay, so now we just have a thing that works. Because, yeah, because HP love basically doesn't allow you to translate colors into, or HS love has colors that don't exist in HP love, so that's why we were getting those weird outputs. But we can like do this. That one doesn't work, and this one doesn't work though. So we only have one of them working. I didn't add the other ones, did I? Come on, box color. Field. And this is just a thing that's on the field now, and we don't actually need to do anything to it because we set all the names. So now we do this, and we can go desaturated or super saturated. We can go. Let's refresh this. Let's go desaturated blue, dark blue. And we just sort of like, okay, that's not a nice dark blue. Let's generate a color palette from that. So that's pretty cool. I kind of wish these sliders were like the different colors so that you could just click on one and stuff. But I'm not mad at this. Maybe we can change this to be like, let's say we like that green, but we want a super saturated green. And then we also want it to be kind of brighter. We submit that, and we get a bunch of bright colors. I think because we're using HS love and not HP love on this, we do get this super bright yellow right here compared to all these pastel-y colors in more the blue range. So HS love is a little bit less forgiving. But we can definitely make that like a configurable function. So let's do that. Let's make it a configurable function, which means we do need one more piece of form. And then we can not only do, I guess, so I think HS love is from 0 to 100. C love is not, for sure. Math. Yada, yada, yada. Where's
I got it bad for a girl like you. You can tell me that you want me to. I want you bad, yeah. Been on the look for a stunner like you. No one can move just
There we go. Maybe it's in the blog post. Cones and waves, etc. RGB and HSL. Yep.
There's no need to be
HSL is a lemon. Nice.
I just wanna be there for you.
C-Lab, C-Lab.
Things we do, baby, me and you.
This stuff is from like 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Just wanna kick it with you. No telling what we could do. Just wanna kick it with you.
But yeah, so it's 0 to 100 on saturation and 0 to 100 on lightness. But C love isn't. So I guess we can do this for HP love and HS love, and then we just need different starting values for C love. Or CLCH is probably what we would use. do another simple formic form because that's what I'm doing here. Zoom out a little bit so I can get the copy pasta on the formic.
I just wanna be there for you. I could think a million things we do, baby, me and you.
And then this is going to be on top.
Yeah.
Most of these fields are not going to be here. I really just messed that up. I did. Get down to this error message. This is not a range. This is going to be like a select. How do we do a select? Just want a very basic drop down.
There's no need to be alone.
Okay, we can stick children in here. Great. We'll just copy and paste these. Field as select main color. Min max step are not things we want. This on change is not something we want. Actually, the on change is going to be something we want, but it's not going to be. Select is color. What, like color representation? That seems really long to type out. Color type. And then inside of field, we're gonna put some options. If we look at the page, we should see a thing up here that's red, green, and blue. Great. That's not what we want. We want HS love, or let's make this HP love. Let's make this HS love, and make this C love, because we haven't implemented C love yet. CLCHUV. HSLUV. HPLUV. And I guess we should name this CLCHUV because why not? Keep it consistent. And when we do this, there's a submit here. We don't want set box value because that doesn't make any sense. We're not part of the reduce. Are we part of the reduce? We're gonna have to change the representation of all the colors in that array. Oh no, those are all hexes. Perfect. That's fine. We will probably want to store the color along with those colors though. Because if you generate something in like HS Love and then you generate a different palette in HP Love, we probably want to show both of those. So initial value for this is going to be what? Let's rename this to color type, and then we'll call it C. What's the other one? HP Love. And we'll just change this so that we can access it in JavaScript a little bit nicer. I think that's generally the right idea. We need a use state here. Now I have like a million use states here now. We should probably be splitting this up into different components. 2 hex. Well, let's do this. Let's do 2 hex from hex. And this will be... Do we want 2 hex from hex? Okay, let's see if we want that. If we had that, then this would be 2 hex from hex. So that would be nice. Then down here, this would be 2 hex from hex. And then when we render them out in color pairings, these need to be taken from a different place. So these need to be coming from the array, or like the color. The color needs to have a prop on it. So it needs to be an object now with the color space that it adheres to, as opposed to so I think we can do that. I think that's useful enough. So this will be a 2 hex from hex set color tool, set color type equals use state, and this will be, it's just an array, right? So it's an array of HP love to hex and hex to HP love. And then we change our values here. So did I mess something up already? More hooks, that's fine. More hooks is fine. We added the hook. And this is hex to HS from hex to hex to hex to hex update box has 2 hex already. The thing that we'll do here is on change. Where did I put this in my app? Oh. Where is my color tool changer? This is the point at which I'm like, I regret not splitting this up into separate components and working on it that way. Because now I can't find anything. Okay, color type. This is going to be what do we call it? Set color type. And this is going to be what, e.target.value. Let's just log this out to make sure that it is. Console, refresh, clear. Cool. e.target.value is what we want. Oh, we can just stick this in here for now. Do we want to stick this in here? Yeah, we can stick this in here. Color tools equals what, HS love or HP love will be the first one. And it'll be HP love or HP whatever. HP love 2 hex. Hex 2 HP love. HS love will be HS love 2 hex and hex 2 HS love. Love how similarly these are named. C LCHUV will be an empty array because we don't have that yet. And then we'll do set color type, color tools, e.target.value. And hopefully I imported everything I needed to import. HP love 2, hex 2 HS. Check our errors here, make sure that they're just the weird ones that we can see. Okay. Hex 2. That's not what I wanted. I want the one that's not capitalized. So hex to HS love, and then we clear this, and then we do what? HS love, submit. HP love, submit. It's not changing the representation because we're not rendering it yet. So the thing that we need to do is when we set the colors in the array here. So we have, I guess box color is going to need this too, but I think box color is already using it. Yeah, that looks like it's using it. And then if we change this to HS love, you get a much more vibrant color. Whereas if this goes back to HP love, and then I change it slightly, the green gets very much, I think that's right. Can't tell. So in any case, hey Ben, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so this is colors, it's an array. We're going to change this array to value, color tool, and this is defaulted to HS love, so that's how it will render. And then when we dispatch, we're going to need to set this up as the value and the color tool, which will be set somewhere. I guess I don't have this value, which is not good. So this is 2 hex from hex right now. But what we really need it to be is the values and the... We'll start this with HP love, and then we'll call the functions there. Does that destructuring work? Because then we do name HP love functions that. And now things are just getting weird. So we've got name and functions and 2 hex and from hex. And then when we set this, we're gonna have to set that too. HP love, functions, that. And this is also going to be name, CLCHEV, functions, empty array because we don't have any. Yeah, I don't know how the computer is stable, Ben. I'm just, you know, riding with it right now. Did I mess something up real bad? Color tool. Yeah, so color tool is still there. And way back up here, we'll call name color tool. And then way down here, when we dispatch, we'll just say color tool. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff. Hex.2 lowercase is not a function. Okay, let's see. We've got this is gonna start getting weird because we're passing functions around now. Let's get rid of the color pairings rendering and see if that works. No, it doesn't. Okay. So there's something wrong here. Hex 2. In color pairings, that's the only place that's using that, right? Oh no, there we go. We've got one way up here. Take this and move it down here, and then this is going to be from hex. Okay, there's another thing here. From hex to hex. Functions, HP left to hex, whatever. So we're basically storing these colors as hex, and then trying to pull them back out. So it looks like we have a hex value, so from hex, that has a color that is not, that doesn't exist. Oh, you know what the problem is? This is from hexing color 0, and color 0 needs a different thing. So everywhere that color 0 happens, we now need color 0 dot value. Or rather, box color is now an object. That's okay. Because then we have color tool. Okay, so from hex value. So that'll do that. And then anywhere else we have color 0, or that we're mapping over the colors, we're gonna have to change. Value. And this is going to be each of the colors. So the color here is going to be color.value. And this is going to be color.name. Right? Is that what I called it up here? Nope, I called it color tool. And then this gets the color in the color tool. So this should just work, but also we'll need to change this. So const, that other const that we have up there that has our functions in it is going to have to get moved out and raised. This thing is going to go somewhere else. Like up here. And now let's see, const functions to hex from hex equals props.color tool. This will be color tools. And then here we have hex to, so from hex and to hex. Color box is getting what at this point? Getting box color or something here. Okay, so that should be everything. So if we submit this, something breaks. Cannot read to lowercase undefined. So let's check the submission for what is that? The form we have the ranges in. Right? No, that's not the form we have the ranges in. That's the original. The payload is not values.color anymore. The payload is color tool value. Is it color tool or is it name? Set color type, color tools, e.target value. And it says cannot read property functions of undefined. Console.log the value we're getting here. Color pairings, hex inputs. Color pairings. Cannot read property functions, so functions. Props.color tool. Color.color tool. So we need to log out props to make sure that we're getting something here. Submit. Get color tool undefined. That's not good. Let's do console.log color. I know I changed a bunch of stuff without actually looking at this. Which it probably should have, I should be like, I don't know, writing tests and stuff. Like a good developer. So we're getting names sometimes and color tool other times. Eek. That's not good. I messed that up. Let's change all of these. So these are name. That's name. Payload is name on the reducer. But it's color tool in the reducer. So in our set color type, it's name. But in our dispatch, it's color tool. So dispatch is color tool. Dispatch, name color tool. Payload color tool. That was the issue. And there we go. That's HP Love's version of the generation. Which is interesting because this is by definition HS Love. And HP Love actually has different qualifications on everything. So, okay, so we also need to change this in the range. Color tool, 2 hex, 2 hex, values. It's not there, it's on the on change. The on change takes update box, name value, from hex to hex. What's the problem there? So H125 hex.2 lowercase is not a function. Is box color different now? Did I change box color? Yes, box color is an object now. What is value? Interesting that it kind of works and then doesn't. So the initial, I think this needs to be HP Love because otherwise you get something that breaks, right? Do this. Only on the second one. That's so weird. Okay, what are we doing here? Okay, the on change takes the from hex and the to hex. HP. Where's HS Love left in this? Nowhere. So it should be fine. I wonder if that is just a function or a color that doesn't exist in that color space. That would be interesting. It should have all of them, though. That input shouldn't fail. Where's box value? So on the range, we have box color.value. We're going to have to log that out now. Oh, you know what the problem is?
Is this a fatal attraction or something brand new? I got a strange emotion. Do you feel it too? Tell me what's on your mind.
Not keeping my data structures correct is what I'm doing.
Maybe I fell for you. Maybe it's nothing major. Just try
So none of these are rendering now, which is the opposite of what we want. So box color is used in this. So color box can just use the value. So there we go. There's our interactive HP love. So you can see that it's fully saturated, right? So if I submit that, we're getting HS love still down here, which is interesting. Where's our range? Update box, update box. Color tool value, 2 hex, set box color, color tool value. There, color toolie, color toolie. Try that. Interesting. With this darkish purple. And then we hit submit. And we get whatever that is. So we have a problem. Box color is the colors array in the reducer, which is color tool. Yep. Box color seems fine, so I'm just gonna get rid of that log. It seems like they're supposed to be rendering with HP low, so maybe I just didn't finish the color pairings and I forgot. So we're rendering a bunch of color boxes with the 2 hex, which is fine. For the color tool that we have, which is fine. From hex gives us these, and then we do this, and then we do that. So that should be fine. And then 2 hex for HSL, 2 hex for that. Seems like it should be, like it should work. There's our HP love in the color tool. So let's change this to be like that green. Something just broke. Right, so refresh, clear. Submit no longer working. Oh no, that's the wrong submit. I need to move those out for sure. What a horrible. Okay, so we're getting a display of what looks like HF Love before we switch into like whatever. Like this looks like HS Love. Okay, it looks like we're starting with HS Love for some reason. HP color tool. HP. Maybe I should just not use this color as the starting point. Maybe I need to pick a color that's within the scope. And that's what's throwing it off. Let's take this this random thing over here. Stick that in here. Refresh. That's interesting. So now we just get this orange color, which is not what we want. That's interesting. Where's that happening, do you think? Color.value, color.color tool, right? Those are both things that we have in our array. Color tool value. The color tool determines which functions we're using. So we have HP love, which gives us a name and a functions. And here it's HP love inside of that, which gives us a name and a functions. Just do this, just for sanity's sake. Should be HP. These look like HP, but these don't. I wonder if those are just outside of the range. Not RGB, not HSL, not hex. Okay. Well, whatever. Ugh. So I'm a little confused as to why this isn't rendering the way that I expect it to. They are slightly different representations. So if I do this, we get that. But if I put this in here, is it a problem in the form submissions, I'm wondering? Yeah, and then we get basically nothing here, right? We get a bunch of the same colors, but not this one. There's something wrong with the transformations. So when I swapped out and made these functions dynamic, it didn't quite work correctly. So I think what I did is I caused the functions to get cached somehow, so that we're still using HS love when we're trying to use HP love. But none of them should be set to HS. They should all be HP. So that's interesting. Box color. Set color type. Let's do console.log. HP everywhere. That's super weird. Because these look much, much brighter than these. These look like the accurate colors. And these look like they're wrong. And when we submit that, it doesn't translate correctly. Because what we see up here is not what we see down there. So I did something wrong, is what I'm saying. So I guess it's time to clean this code up. Got a number of different forms, a number of different state changes. Let's see, set color type. Is that what I have this called? That doesn't look right. Color tools, e.target.value. That's right. Let's do this instead here. Let's do color tools HP love, so that we're just clear on where this is coming from and what this is doing. So weird. So I've got to believe that the box color is wrong somehow. Here's color box. Color box takes a color, renders it. That's it. And all it does is set it as the background color. There's nothing special about that. It is at least consistent. So let's just log everything, basically. these variables? Yes, we use those as the default starting point. Set the box color, dispatch. On handle change, we update the box. Initial value of the form is the first value in the array, so whenever that array changes, we get a new one. I feel weird about this. It's kind of working, but it's also kind of not working. I wonder if the conversion to hex and back is messing something up for the HP. Let's make this HS. See how that re-renders. Yeah, so then we get the full spectrum here. It's not that color. B954. That is what we have here. It's not what we have here. It is what we have there. B95400. Oh, dang. Really? Okay, what's going on here? I thought 4 was a valid background color. I think this is working. I think there's just a browser bug. CSS, hex codes, back. Oh, you know what the problem is there? A 4-digit hex code specifies transparency. Okay, so 6 is the normal one. That just works. 8 is 6 plus 2. And then there's 3, which is a shorter version of 6. And 4, which is 3 plus 1. So there's a problem with the way that the hex values are being encoded. Because B954 should have... See, what does color hexa tell us about this color? Right, it's not any of those. It's not 00, right? And it's not B95. So what is that? It's a transparent B95. So let's just put B95 in here, because that's potentially weird. That might be potentially messing it up. So this is B95000, and that's B95. So somehow we're getting 0 fills. That's interesting. If nothing else, that's interesting. Give me this. Let's see what we're injecting. B95000 right there. And what's the original hex? B95. Okay, so let's do HSL just for kicks. All the same the whole time. The new H shouldn't matter, but we are getting 0 fill when we do 2 hex. Why are we getting 0 fill? Because 0 fill is bad for us. Because that's not what we're doing. Like B95 and B95000 are not the same color. Because I think it's what? BB9955 is what that is? Yeah. So the fill here is wrong in some respects. Let's check out LUV implementations. I think I'm using the one from here. API public, maybe. It's a lot of functions that we're not using right now. I think we're going to use this LCH to HSL UV stuff at some point. Wait, are there any hex? There's only 4 hexes, so we're going to have to convert from hex to HSLUV probably to LCH or something like that. API full. There's a console.log just sitting in here. Assuming only the least significant hex digit can cause a collision, otherwise this program uses too much memory. Yes. They aren't using shortened versions, so let's not use shortened versions either. I wonder if we can normalize this somehow. Because the value we're getting from 2 hex is the full 0 filled value, right? Yes. So when we go to 2 hex again, we get 0 fill. For HP. Do we get 0 fill for HS? Oh, we only get this value, don't we? That's not right. If we insert BB9955, it works. For both of them, except this one turns pink. And the logs still come out super weird. Oh no, that's just the last one. Never mind. So there's an issue with how many characters this thing is returning, and that's changing the values that we're seeing when it comes out. The number precision seems wrong. This is interesting. Okay. RGB to HS11 back to RBG is not consistent. So it's possible I need to do some math to figure out that this thing is doing the right stuff. Uh, the conversions might have an issue, so we might not want to store in hex. We do need to convert to hex when we render, but we might want to store in HSL anyway, just to avoid doing back and forth computations that might cause rounding errors. I was just sort of playing around like it would be fine if I just went back and forth between the two formats all the time, because that would let me take a color and trivially convert it to a different one. But it's possible that going from hex and back is a lossy process, because 2 hex instead of new H, let's just do H here. Let's see what that does. Yeah, just going from hex and back gives it like 3 extra zeros, which is super weird, right? Because this is from hex props.color HSL, and then 2 hex HSL. So HP Love has a problem. Does HS Love have the same problem? It looks like it does. It's so weird. So maybe BB9955. I I think worked. Yeah, so okay, so we need to clean this up basically is the problem here. Because it doesn't handle 3-digit hexes well. So hex clean or I don't know. Convert 3-digit hex color to 6-digit. So maybe we just duplicate them. Let's try that. So we'll do new age here again, and then I guess anywhere we set a hex, so anywhere we do 2 hex, we'll need to fix this. Actually, let's fix this by doing this and saying that fixed h fix hex output, fix hex out, where we take a function fix hex out equals function, and then like the args, right? And we say function args and then we say if result.length is 4 to account for the hash, then we result.split what's the best way to duplicate it? It might be limit your color palette if just 3 digits are used instead of the full 6. Yeah, I'm trying to paper over the fact that if you take a 3-digit hex code and you put it into these 2 hex from hex functions and cycle it through, it'll come back with 3 zeros on the end instead of the full accurate hex code. So like if I put this as BB9955, not 4555, and I comment that out for a second so that doesn't break, I should get something that works, right? And then I can submit this because please enter a valid value. This is also a weird thing that happens. It's like, this isn't a valid value. Like, okay, cool. So HP gets this pink color here. 5 bad. And see, this is a 4-letter hex code. And there's no 4-letter hex code syntax, right? Like, I don't know how to expand 4 into 6. I can do 3 into 6. But there's something wrong in the library. Which is unfortunate, because otherwise it works pretty well. So it's got to be this precision, right? Because I don't see any other interesting. Like the code isn't in this repo. Unless it's just like a cross compilation from hacks. It bugs me that I can't find the actual code that has the problem in it. So the HS Love API is spitting out an incorrect format. Yeah. That is exactly what's going on here. Because we've got this like four code hex color, which is super annoying. I'm gonna have this just log stuff, I think, for now. And I guess we should fix hexane too, right? Well, that didn't work. Something went horribly wrong with that approach. Now it's just 0, 0, 0 for everything. That's not good. Those are all good. Try to submit this. See, this one comes out as four characters. You think that's supposed to be 0, 0? This one has 5 characters. This one has 5 characters. This one has 5 characters. No, this one has 4 characters. It's so bizarre to me that this is the way that it's working. There is a stylus version. That's funny. But yeah, like I don't, because it's not. We're not supposed to be just adding zeros here. Let's try this. Let's do, instead of fix hex out, let's wrap the other ones and fix hex in. This takes a hex code. Let's get rid of that and redo this. Yep, so result is that. Let's also grab the args and log those out. Coming in is 6, right? And then we change the hue to submit that. And we get a 4-character hex code coming in. Later, mechanic. I'm about to wind it down here anyway. I gotta figure out this out off stream, I think. There's no, isn't a lot of progress to be had here. AFBC. Why are you getting a hex code that's AFBC? Anyways, on that note, I'm gonna dig into this library off stream because I got some other stuff I need to be doing. And thanks everyone for hanging out today. And I'll be back on Friday for a 2 p.m. stream. Hopefully I'll have this fixed out by then. But, you know, it's always possible I won't.